Welcome everybody. Y'all ready for this? The Hustle. My name is Steve Armopoulos, and these are my co-hosts.
I'm Talia.
And I'm Luigi. You may have heard me on radio, you may have never heard of me at all, but that's okay.
Cause y'all gon' learn today. Your whole life was a struggle, had to make it out the jungle. This is a show for you. Welcome to the hustle, under pressure that will break a foe. Keep chasing your goals until you blow. Now, welcome to the hustle.
Steve, you're fucking me up here. Now, there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers. As Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger. I see what you're doing here. There's one G.
No, it is.
And Lucius of Cyrene and Manian, which had been brought up to Herod the Tetrarch and Saul.
That's it.
Right.
So Simeon was also known as a nigger.
Damn, bro.
So nigger is a title.
Yeah.
And the phrase before it says it well. Prophets and what? How it goes?
How's it go, Steve?
The first phrase, it was saying there was who around Antioch?
Now that we're in the church, that was an Antioch, certain prophets and teachers as
prophets
Barnabas and Simeon.
Yes. Prophets and teachers. So a nigger is a title. They're the one that built the first Christian church in the world.
That's deep, bro. You going deep right now.
So the nigger is that. The last nigger that existed is King Selassie. Bob Marley, when he said, Jah Rastafari, King Selassie, he's the last niggers of Ethiopia. He's the last nigger. And the nigger is the title. And in Aramic language in the north of Ethiopia, it means king.
I did not know that.
That's a first on the Hustle podcast. We started the episode without an introduction, and we already got canceled.
Welcome to church, cocksuckers.
Thank you very much. Let's introduce today's guest. Today we got a very special guest, an OG in the game, a pioneer in the city. We got Luigi On The Go, formerly known as DeeRock.
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 The third eyes MC.
He fucks up names every episode. Don't take it personal.
And also known as Soundproof. Everybody knows, like hip hop artist, DJ, radio host. He's done the whole 9 yards. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for inviting me here.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for dropping that knowledge right before.
I feel like he dropped the gem before
started off
before
already,
the show.
right?
About the word nigga?
It's just fire,
Yeah.
He was trying to get me to say the N-word on camera. It's not going to happen, but I mean...
N is a letter. N is a letter.
He dropped knowledge, though. He dropped knowledge.
N is a letter.
Yeah, no, but you know what? It's funny, though, because my sons are mixed, and my oldest came to me, and it's funny, because especially my oldest does not look mixed at all. Okay. He came to me the other day, and he said somebody had said it at school, and I said, really? And I said, well, first of all, this is a conversation you're going to have with your mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll pawn this one off.
Where's she from?
But she's from here, but her roots are Trinidad.
Okay.
And I was just basically telling him, like, if I ever hear you saying that word, it's licks, and you don't even understand the level of licks you're gonna get if you ever come back to me saying that word, because number one, you might have some African DNA in you, but nobody's gonna know that shit by looking at you. So you do yourself a favor, leave that word out of the vocabulary. And obviously for like moral reasons, don't say it, but also just leave it alone
until we clarified it through our prayer.
Exactly. There you go.
See, look, we're opening up minds over here.
Amen. Facts.
But what do you man? The fact that you just brought that up, like, okay, they're young kids right now, but let's say when they get 16, 18, hitting the streets, partying with the friends,
right?
You think they're not going to be dropping that?
I'm still going to whip their ass for that shit, bro. I don't give a fuck. Listen, man, my oldest is probably going to be like 6'5", so I might have to, stay in the gym. But no, listen, morals are morals. Regardless of how old they are, they're still my kids. And when they're in my presence, they're going to behave a certain way. I don't give a fuck if they're 35. It is what it is.
You're not going to make them read the Bible?
It's not really my thing. Again, that's more their mother's field. I'll let her be the theologian in this equation.
Just one there,
That's it. Exactly.
Praise the Lord.
So Louis, I had the pleasure of seeing you while I was getting my tats at your son's shop. And we spoke about, shout out Wolf L'Artiste also in the background right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we spoke about the city. We spoke about the past. We actually have mutual people that we know. So that's cool, And now you're on the show. Let's tell the people a little bit about Soundproof, a little bit about everything that you were doing in the past and how you got to the point that you're doing what you're doing now.
Well, I started rapping here in Montreal in 1988.
Damn.
88.
Just about.
That's the year I was born, guys.
Same.
Yeah, it's true. You told me that. Yeah, so I started rapping officially. First time on stage was 1998, but I was writing rhymes, beats and pieces there, I would say around 85, 86. But then my friends would clown me around, especially Dice B.
Right.
Another icon too, another hip hop artist.
Yeah, shout out to Dice B for sure.
Dice B. So when he would come to see me, because we lived in the same neighborhood in the East, so he would crack jokes and he liked my rhyme, and I called myself Mr. Stupid Fresh. So I was like, okay, that doesn't help. So and in '88, I took my courage and I went on stage at La Danse Henri Bourassa. It was a youth dance at Henri Bourassa High School in the East End in Montreal North, and then first time on stage. Wrote my rhyme, grabbed a 12-inch on Polisson and Saint-Hubert in Bélanger, Saint-Zotique, just about. And then, you know what? I tried it. My first verse went okay. My first chorus went okay. And I was hyped. I was like, people are digging me because I was kind of a little bit popular dancing and playing basketball in the school. So, and then when the second verse came, forgot all my words.
We've been there. We've all been there. That sucks.
But then in my brain, in a fraction of a second, I said, you know what? Everybody say ho.
Yeah, you gotta. There you go.
So I kept them going,
Yeah.
and I won $50 the first time on
Nice.
stage in '88.
Control
And
the
$50
crowd.
in '88 was like 75 now. So
rich.
yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I was rich. So that's how I started, and ever since, I did a couple of shows here and there. Got involved and got a dance troupe. So I had different individuals, as well as my little brother that was dancing for me, and I had a squad that was kind of known in the '90s. Dope Squad. I had a couple of artists, and I also was expanding and going to shows in James Dean High School, and then I met Shortcut while going on the South Shore. But I met him through KCLMNOP. Me and KC in '91 ended up on a carnival float in Montreal.
Nice.
And my friend that was the one who rented the float was looking for rappers because he was one of my DJs. So it was me, Dice B, and KCLMNOP on the stage. We look like the Foo Snickens because we have different flow. KC had the fast tongue twisting flow, and then you have Dice that have the the robotic
Popping and locking and shit.
Yeah, and I'm just the crazy one with the words and just melody into all my verses. And then we were on a float, me, KC. And Dice B in 1991, first hip hop float in the Carnival of Montreal, and then that's how I met Shortcut, going to Greenfield Park and going to see him and chit chatting. And a couple of years later, their project Music Plus, I was a little bit around, and I was doing my other stuff too throughout the '90s and everything. So that was my beginning there, from '88 to '92.
So that was the DeeRock days.
Yeah, the LG DeeRock.
When did you go to Florida and start doing your stuff over there?
Okay, so
Miami, right? I think.
So '92, I kind of slowed down. I had to pay my rent. I was 21, so that wasn't paying a bill. I was hosting a lot of events, but not enough to say I could live out of that. So. And my son was born in '93, so I kind of slowed down everything. I was trying to be present in his life. And then in '99, I decided to go to Florida. And, I wanted to change my mind. A lot of stuff was going on, a lot of drama, separation with somebody else. And I was like, you know what? My mom was living in Florida. So she told me, said, might as well come here for a month or two, make some money, enjoy the sun and everything. So I ended up going there, but I was supposed to stay a month. So the guy that came to pick me up at the Greyhound station in Southwest Florida, Fort Myers, he was a friend of my mom. He came to pick me up, dropped me at my mom's house, and we were chit-chatting in the car. And he was talking about it. He had a problem with his brakes. So I said, I'm a mechanic, so I can fix your brakes. He comes the next day. So that's my first little money hustling. I'm like, okay. So as I'm fixing his brake, he's telling me he has an underground Haitian radio station. I said, might as well. I ain't doing nothing here for a month, looking for a job, just being quiet. So I'm doing radio, I think it was 4 nights a week.
Lit.
So I ended up doing radio there and working with Beat 105.5. That's a commercial hip hop radio station there.
That's based out of Fort Myers?
Fort Myers, Florida, yeah.
Let's hit pause for a second. For those of you who don't know, Fort Myers, especially in the 90s, that was a rough neighborhood.
It was rough. It was rough.
Opalaka goons ain't playing out there.
Yeah, you got Martin Luther King Boulevard. I used to hang. I hang, I was from Montreal. No, I said, hey,
Yeah, but I think it's a little rougher than Montreal. Montreal North. You know, that's no shade, but
For
it's a
me,
different
it's the
feel.
States, you know?
It's a
The
different
extra
feel.
of it, I could tell you, the extra of it is the English,
Yeah.
their slang. I couldn't understand a word.
True, right?
So I was kind of decoding what they were telling. And sometimes they could have an intense voice, but they're being nice because they are passionate.
Yeah, they're very.
I was like, what? So I stayed 3 years and trying to figure out that language, and did a couple of shows. I had a nightclub. I was doing parties in a nightclub every Sunday. That town was quiet. And Deion Sanders and Emmett Smith, they are born and raised in Fort Myers, and they heard about what I was doing every Sunday. So they ended up coming to my parties.
I feel like there was a lot of cocaine involved.
No, I wasn't in that part. I have a coking story, which I'm not involved, but I was involved. I was present. It's a whole different situation, but it was kind of intense in those times. Yeah, until September, I think 9/11. At 9/11, they were cleaning up Fort Myers, Naples, because George Bush was in Naples when the 9/11 happened.
True, at the school.
And those pilot, they took the course 40 minutes north of Fort Myers. So the whole
right, it
area,
was in Florida,
yeah. So they were scanning the whole Southwest Florida.
That's crazy.
So I was hustling. So I didn't, I was a tourist. I was a visitor, allegedly, right? So I said, before they get me and give me a free ticket back to Montreal, I said, I'll take back the Greyhound. I took a train. I took a train to come back. I said, you know what? Thank you very much. I get the message. They would clean up people, hotel workers, and this and that. I said, you know what? After 3 years, I had fun. So yeah, but I did a lot of stuff in Florida also.
For sure.
Parties with Wyclef.
Nice.
Foxy Brown's brother and Foxy Brown too. We did a big event. I had fun down there.
No
OJ
kidding.
Simpson, I had the chance to meet OJ
Jesus,
Simpson.
did he do it?
You know what? Looking at him, you have that funny vibration, that aura that he's so tired of this. You could see it in his eyes, like his shoulder. You see the way I'm hanging, like his shoulder. The guy, he had enough. Like, do what you got to do, or stop doing what you're doing, because I could see in his eyes, he was tired of that weight.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny.
It is a lot of weight, but I mean, I feel like he did it though.
Yeah, you went from juice to serial killer, basically, right?
And then,
A double murder.
See, and I have an opinion on that, but I don't want to get canceled. So,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Kardashian family also involved. The father that was his friend, that was a lawyer, a friend of Nicole. Like this, I don't know.
A big can of worms right there.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of fishy.
But so what would you say, especially back then, because I'm really interested, I want to circle back to Montreal, kind of in the early 90s. Like, what was the hip hop scene like here in the early 90s? I feel like it wasn't burgeoning at that point.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. It was in a different state of mind. Because we wanted to prove ourselves. We wanted to prove that we had something going on. And, the urban or the kids of immigrants, right, wasn't represented into the rock and the Bon Jovi and this and that. So we would go to New York. I would spend a lot of summers in New York and a lot of time in New York and come back with hip hop, but there was nothing here. But I would say they started doing shows at James Dean high schools in the 80s. And it was also the Palladium, where there's Grande Bibliothèque, the big library on the Metro Berry. So there were shows, big shows. De La Soul. I did the first part for De La Soul and Will Smith here in 89.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
De La Soul's coming back too, right? I think they're...
Yeah, I hope so. I would like to meet them again, but it's been a while. So it was happening. We had promoters, we had events, and the connection between New York and Montreal was in demand, and there was a lot of artists coming here. There was a record store called Wild Records. It was on Peel, just across from Montreal Trust Plaza complex there, halls. And every artist that would come in Montreal would go there for a sign out, signing and everything, and take pictures and photos. And that's how I got the chance to meet Public Enemy, Rakim, all those artists, LL Cool J, Queen Latifah. Matter of fact, Malik Shaheed in that time was he was not that as big as now, involved as now. He was, especially with Gary Teen in the West End, and he would take them to YMCA. He took Queen Latifah to YMCA downtown. Played basketball.
I used to work out there. Bro.
She's a good basketball player.
I mean, she looked like a good basketball player. She looked like a football player, to be honest with you. But that's a different conversation.
So there was a lot of hip hop going on. And then when Casey came out with his album, and the other guy, the white dude, Rock. DeeRock from the South Shore, that white dude came out with Bouger, Danser, Aimerait faire arriver. Je peux plus arrêter. That was a nice, some people want to be informed, it's still on the internet. And KC came with his album. And then we had Chuck Ice.
Chuck Ice.
And
Yeah,
OPP.
shout out to Chuck. Yep.
Allegedly, I talked to Chuck Ice. He explained to me the same story about 3 years ago during the COVID. I was talking to him. And the song You Down with OPP was taken from Chuck Ice and OPP because it was Chuck Ice and his crew called OPP. And they had a lot of relationship back and forth between Montreal and New York. And I think he went down there or something like that. And then they took the abbreviation of OPP. It was
that iconic song. You down with OPP?
That's a TikTok clip.
Yeah.
And shout out to Chuck, and no shade to Chuck.
Chuck
but
Ice?
Yeah,
Okay.
no shade to him whatsoever. But listen, nobody, especially in that era, is out rapping Tretch. Nobody.
Not even
Tretch. Tretch. To this day, Tretch is a monster, bro.
Yes. I go clap back, jack.
I'm telling you,
Yo,
come on, bro.
He's like a Uzi. He's like
Nasty, just nasty.
just running.
Nasty.
People. Yeah.
So you down with OPP, Steve? Go ahead.
Yeah. Everybody's down with OPP.
Facts.
Yeah, I love that, the last P. So the scene, there was a scene.
Yeah.
There was a scene, especially when MLF did this stuff and then Casey blew up with Rhapsody on Music Plus. That was another thing too. At that point, I was supposed to have a TV show down there too.
Wow.
I was kind of young. I didn't know nobody. My mom was very strict. At the same time, she gave me a little loose, but I had nobody for paperwork or what's going on. And even Celine Dion, I had the opportunity to go to the studio and do an audition for that, for the Unison album, but it was Boogie V that did that with an American guy that did the rap and the dancing. And I had the chance to audition for that top 3 or 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there was stuff going on and there was an emergence. It was different. Everybody wanted to prove. And at the same time, the dance scene, wanted to incorporate hip hop.
Right.
Because it was the rock and the dance was fading out. Right?
Well, it was right at the explosion of hip hop too, right?
Exactly.
So everybody wants to capitalize on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And you had CNC Music Factory that was doing something, always collabos. I was supposed to be part of a collabo like CNC Music Factory in Montreal. Me and my friend KY, we were approached. We did a lot of studio time in audition for that. And I had a couple of Italian dudes with a black guy that approached me.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And so I won't say no name.
We're gonna have a conversation. No, it's just a conversation.
Exactly. At the back of the Taylor store. Yeah. The classic.
Yeah, that's very stereotypical.
I was 16.
Yeah.
I was like, where am I going in that store? I went in the back of the store and he was there. He's a tailor. Allegedly. I was like, okay. So I'm like, dude, the brother came to get me at my house in Montreal North, took me to whatever intersection where the store was, right? I won't give no more.
I feel like it was on Jean Talon for some reason.
I don't know. Allegedly somewhere on the island. Right. So there was a lot of people wanting to be involved and invest in that. And no, it was something else. It was something else than now. So there was something going on until KC. Then when KC let go of the show, then there was a little drop there. There was still stuff going on. There was after parties, clubs, Bingo Palace here and there. You got the Thunderdome, and you had what's the other club? The first after hour there. So it was on Park Avenue.
So that's before my time, bro.
And we'll come back later on. But we had a lot of stuff going. But when Sans Pression,
shout out to SP,
and Mozion and Rain Man signed with Guy Cloutier came along, and Dub Matzik being signed with their vibe also. That was more like, the Will Smith jiggy, more for the pop, general public.
For the radio.
Yeah, so there was stuff going on, and then, Mozion was signed with Sony and BMG, and then SP went to New York to record the 2 legendary songs of his album. Yeah. So there was a lot of stuff going on. I feel like
it was like a lost golden era back then from the sounds of it.
You have to think about it was the time that you can just cross the border with your ID. You remember how easy it was back then? Now you need passports. It's a headache. You need work. Like back then, you can get away with not getting work permits. I don't even think people were asking for work permits for like a show. You're having to perform for a day.
No, like I would say with Flavor Flav in '89, he couldn't come. The first time.
What he's,
yeah,
him,
situation.
he was like
There was a couple of rappers. Yeah, they would check that to the
major
Yeah,
celebrities.
he
for
probably
sure.
got caught with crack. I mean, at this point, you know.
Well, yeah, Flavor always had issues with the law, so it makes sense that something probably happened in the States, and they're like, you can't even come to Canada. No, that's it.
He went to Toronto, but not Montreal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was. And afterward, he came down here. But not that often for some reason. Immigration in Quebec and the rest of Canada is
It is different. It is different for sure. It's a lot more stringent here, especially now with the new laws and shit. But that's a different conversation. But that's dope, man. Like I feel like there's not a lot of, and I don't know if it's a generational thing. I feel like it probably is a generational thing because I don't think it's confined to Montreal. I just feel like today's generation, like they don't really do the digging in the crates that like we did coming up to kind of find out what happened in the era before us, who paved the way. It's like this is like all the shit you're talking about is like a not lost, but I mean, you know what I mean? To this generation, I feel like, bro, there needs to be like a documentary or something to
Definitely.
is there a light bulb over your head right now? There needs to be some sort of documentation of all of this.
There
stuff.
was one or two by 2002, 2003 that was made. One or two attempt. There was arcade in it, Ziploc in it, and so on. Connoisseur at this beginning. King. King was a high school friend also with Connoisseur. There was a documentary about that 90 going on, but it goes all the way to 80s. There was a hip hop radio show on the AM station in 86, 87 on 730.
That's crazy.
730 or 780, something like that. Yeah, so I would listen to that every night from 7 to 10, every week.
And it was prime time.
Yeah, it was on the AM.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, it was working, and it was that guy Mike. He worked afterwards at
CKUT.
No, Much Music Toronto. Black dude, curly, not the dread one, but a curly guy. Anyway, he was here and he did a show. He had a show.
That's crazy.
A hip hop show. Yeah,
that's crazy. We don't have a primetime hip hop show right now in 2023 on the radio.
No,
I had one for a couple of years on K103, but
that was it.
Yeah,
I tried to do something a morning show. It's funny to say at the same time that Breakfast Club came out in 2011. I started my morning show every Friday morning from 8 till 9, and I went 7 to 9, and then went 6 to 9. And I went
Urban Ways.
Yeah, Urban Ways. So I wanted to do it 5 days a week, but people here are so stingy and conservative and stuck in the ways of I don't know what.
Bro, it comes down to it's unfortunate. This will always be the issue in this province. It comes down to it's not the identity, the Quebecois identity, like to hear hip hop on the radio. And it's like, bro, it's 2023. Like whether you like it or not, all your kids are listening to hip hop. I don't I don't care if you live in fucking Chicoutimi or fucking Val-d'Or, where all your kids are listening to hip hop, whether you like it or not, bro.
Yes.
So
you know, I mean, help you clarify, share with you something. In 1998, the CRTC and all the big dogs communication in Quebec had a meeting, not in 98, a formal report in 98, but they did it in 2001, 2002. It's on the website of CRTC, by the way. And they said, listen, according to the statistic in the cultural tendency, in the 2000 is going to be reggaeton, hip hop, and reggae. You guys got to play that, or else we're going to revise your permits and revise your license and so on and so on. So those big time willies here of all of the different Sikwa, whatever, mix, all of them, they didn't listen. So when Harper fired 2,000 people in 2010 or 11 from Radio Canada, Coast to Coast Canada, he fired about 2,000. He reduced the budget.
right.
It was following that demand, that request from the CRTC. Because even if you look at it now, Radio Canada, CBC Radio, and TV, they're trying to adjust. They put one brother here.
Yeah.
They put that here. They do one commercial there.
Yeah. Well, now they have to be inclusive.
But it's because now they decide.
Yeah.
They're saying inclusive, but they're not saying urban. They're not saying hip hop. They're not saying our essence. Why you don't?
Exactly.
I mean, like you say. I mean, I work for Sikwa and we do the ski tour, and I could go all the way to Tremblant. People listen to hip hop. 100%. See me with Sikwa. It's like, oh, now they're gonna put hip hop. I had a couple of people see me with Sikwa 96.9 and say, oh, about time. Yeah. Are you going to put some hip hop? You're going to put this, put some 50 cents and this and that. I'm not the boss here.
I mean, 94.7 is like the only one that's kind of embraced it, but it's like not fully. They'll play it, but it's like they play the billboard shit. They're not gonna use, and it's like they don't support the city really. Like you know, it's just fucking whack, bro.
They started at the beginning when it came out around 2010 or 9, something like that. There was like 24/7 hip hop.
Yeah.
So the same thing in Fort Myers. The radio station was brand new in 2000 when I was at 99. So they capitalize on that as a leverage, and then they go about their way. They just use it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happened. I was surprised like you. They're just playing top 40, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes cheesy, but that's what they do, 94.7. But at the beginning, the first years, they were going crazy on hip hop, left and right, and they had that van going all around. Yeah. So we're here, we're going to give you a ticket. We're Kalamazoo, come and see us. We're in the bushes.
Well, I think at the beginning, like I said, it was fresh. It was an explosion. They're just grabbing everything that they're listening to, putting it on the radio.
Yeah.
And then after, what happens? Labels get involved.
Yeah.
Payolas start happening. Here, my artist is not as good as these other guys, but we're going to give you so and so much money, and you're going to just keep spinning that thing for the whole month. And which that was a big thing in New York at one point. There was that big payola.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's how it works. I mean, at the end of the day, the music industry became even more corporatized within the last 20 years. And the thing about radio stations, especially in Canada, even in the States, like iHeartRadio owns almost all the radio stations, right? In Canada, it's like Bell Media. And it's like, so these radio stations, like, it's like McDonald's and Burger King. It's like their competition, but like if you really dig deep, they all belong to the same umbrella company, right? Yes. So it's like Viacom owns the world, bro. And they, at the end, you know what I'm saying? Like they control what you're hearing. And unfortunately in Montreal, there's just you have to wait until 2 a.m. or whatever time Feezy's show comes on to really get the vibes of the city.
Midnight.
It's midnight. My bad, Feezy. I'm sorry.
But shout out to Feezy.
Yeah, shout out.
Two brothers in the States, 2 artists, Sam Cooke and James Brown. When they understood that, they bought radio station. And that bothered a lot of people all the way to the FBI. Yeah. If they didn't call it a RICO for them at that time. And that was in the late 50s or 60s. James Brown bought about 5 radio stations. He said, "You guys ain't playing me, you're playing Elvis?" Okay.
That's gangster.
Yeah. And Sam Cooke did the same thing too. He brought radio station. Then they had the whole issue with James Brown, personal issues, but also finance. And they told him that it was illegal because it's non-competitive. Wow. And he's taking advantage of it to play him. So they're like, no, you can't do that because you have a license to accordingly, right? So he had a couple of radio stations. That's what he did.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was gangster in the 60s.
That is gangster.
Guy had planes and everything and said, you know what, you guys don't want to play.
It's even more gangster in the 60s because it wasn't socially accepted at all back then. Right.
Yeah, and he was probably pissing off the mafia, right? Because they had their hands in the music industry. They're taking money out of their pockets.
And he's from the South.
Yeah.
He's from the South.
Exactly.
So redneck, crackers, whatever you want to call them. So it's like, but you see, at the beginning of that in the 80s here in Montreal, there was determination. Now, there's none. It's so easy access. Anybody can be a rapper. Anybody
100%.
You see, you just do a TikTok and you got 10,000
You don't have
views.
to pay dues anymore.
You're not sleeping no more. You know?
Exactly. It's a fact.
So, yeah. So we were hungry. Me, KC, Chuck Ice, Ziploc, LDG, Flight, so on and so on, Vicky J, a bunch of rappers were hungry, wanted to prove a point.
Right.
Now they don't want to prove a point. They want to show I exist and this is what make like look at me kind of thing. We wasn't doing for that.
Right.
Yeah, you didn't have that social
I wanted
media
to
fall back
prove
on.
that I can rap and articulate and do the tongue twist.
Because you had to be nice back then. That's you had to prove your skills. And like I think the biggest difference now compared to then and not only in Montreal but just in general, right? Is that like now, like you said, it's easy access. You don't have to pay those dues. And like even when we started rapping, which was like way later, but still
when Facebook really started.
Well, I mean, I was started at like 11. I was pretty early. I was like MSN days. I was early.
MSN.
I was early.
MySpace.
You know what I'm saying? But regardless, like even when we were coming up, it was different. Like now, I feel like people get into this shit. We talked about this on the last episode, I think. People get into this shit now they just want the clout. They just want the attention. You know, back when we were coming in, like to me, I wanted to be the best rapper anywhere. That was the goal. And I wasn't going to stop until I was that nice. It's like, but now it's just like, yo, how many views am I going to get? Like, yo, I'm going to, instead of putting out like a dope piece of art, I'm going to put out something like stupid and controversial, but I'm going to get 1 million views. And I think that's the difference. Like the hunger is not there because like you said, even like if you look at women, we're going to get canceled again. If you look at women, right? Like you could open a business and be a successful woman and grind your way to the top, or you can open up an OnlyFans, show your asshole, and fucking make $5,000 a month. So like, what are you gonna
Some
do?
got millions.
100%.
But it's all about the instant gratification.
Exactly.
That's the stupidest part of the whole thing, this shit going on right now.
I think that was the beautiful thing about back then. There was no social media to fall back on.
Yeah.
You had to be up
You had to
close
grind.
and personal.
Yeah.
You had to be in the people's faces.
Yeah.
You're really doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
Now, like you said, you're doing it for Instagram. You're doing it for TikTok. You're doing it for YouTube. You're doing it for all these people that will probably never see you. And you're literally doing it for the view count.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And the mentality is different also, because it's like you have these rappers or artists who, you know, they might get, let's say 100,000 views on a song, right? In their mind, I'm a celebrity now. So say we hit them up. You want to come on the podcast? Red. They're not even going to message back because I'm a fucking celebrity. And it's like, bro, nobody even knows who the fuck. Okay, you got 100,000 views, probably 50,000 of them were bought and paid for, right? So you got 50,000 views, but like realistically, nobody outside of your little group of friends knows who the fuck you are, because we're in the city, we're on the scene. If we haven't heard of you, you're not saying nothing, bro. No. So don't hit me with this Hollywood shit and you want to come on the podcast with shades on and give us one word answers because you're too gangster to answer quick. Get the fuck. First of all, I can out rap you. That's number one. Okay. So sorry to tell you guys. And number two, get the fuck out of here with that shit, bro. Like, anyways, don't get me started.
But there's two other things that goes on too.
Yeah, I like how he bounces off the shit I say.
One of them is once they don't get those likes no more and the money is getting low so they can buy those or whatever happened, they get depressed real quick.
Yeah.
So the mood swing is incredible. And the second thing also is that, like you were saying, they come here with a shade, they have 3 words. I was approached with so many artists to be their manager or agent or whatever, but you can't have a conversation. And now it's worse because nobody's talking on the phone. It's always DM me or text me this or send me the WhatsApp. I don't want to hear you. I'm busy. Busy what? You're busy on TikTok because I send you a message on Instagram? Like, what's going on?
You're sitting on the toilet on fucking TikTok.
I think it's a lack of confidence too. Like people now, because you're so entrenched into social media, they don't even want to pick up the phone and talk to you.
Scared.
It makes people socially awkward, to be honest.
It's got
You get
bite.
that social anxiety. You know?
Yeah. What I do it once a year. I got like 5,000 numbers on my phone, right? So I go once a year. I just stroll with my thumb, start from there, call 10 people I never talked to for the last 3-4 years. Hey, what's up? I'm good. I just called, say, hey, hi, how you doing? I'm good. And then we have a conversation for 45 minutes. And even them, they're surprised. Oh, well, at the beginning, it's like, oh, well, but, I'm kind of doing something. Or, well, I'm at my break or this or that. Can we talk back? And then when they start going, they had nothing to do. So why you didn't want to fucking talk to me? Like, send me a text. I have this girl. She's 2 corners away. Nice girl. Lives with her daughter. Say, hey, I'll pass around, bring some McDonald's, be nice to the kid.
Let her supersize at least.
Right, let her supersize, right? And then that's when Facebook started, and then started talking to her, and then I was saying something, but it was a development. I was like, I couldn't write a Stephen King text.
Right.
I'm not doing that. So I called her. Doesn't answer. That was in 2008. And then 3 hours later, I said, hey, I tried to call you. I said, maybe she's busy or something. So I don't talk to the phone no more. She clearly told me that in 2008.
There's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of fucking people like that, though.
So they can't talk. They can't verbalize. So you're asking them to do what kind of verse?
Yeah, exactly.
All the ideas are twisted from left to right. It's banging in their brain like there's no classification of nothing.
I agree.
You see what I'm saying? So when it comes out, it just comes out the way it comes out. Yeah. They can't do the Jay-Z, triple tandra. They can't do nothing. They can't do Eminem stuff. They can't. They can't do a Busta Rhyme to express and drop the hard on every word.
No, you're right. And the cool thing also about like your era too compared to today is like originality, right? Like your whole goal back then was to bring something new. Right, like you wanted to be a new sound, a new rhyme scheme, a new cadence, a new flow, new perspectives. Right now, everybody fucking sounds the same, and it's not just from here; it's from it doesn't listen. Go on Spotify, just type in Lil somebody, right? Lil fucking I don't know, Lil Papa Pill, whatever. Type it in. I guarantee you, I don't care what city he's from. He doesn't even have to be from North America. He can be from fucking Macedonia. He's gonna sound exactly like Pop Smoke.
Well, yeah, there's that Italian guy. Sorry, but that Italian Rondo de Sosa, whatever. Yeah. He sounds exactly like
Pop Smoke, and it's like, bro, you're from fucking Milan.
Yeah, I heard that one.
What?
There's a show coming down here. Yeah,
but there is a diversity, but it's like you say, the whole payola and who's on top of that pyramid. Because if look at it, from J. Cole to Chance the Rapper,
Chance the
Rapper,
Kendrick,
from Kendrick to Tracy. What's the guy with the circus stage and everything that had
Travis Scott?
Travis Scott. I say Tracy. Travis Scott. You see, there is a diversity.
Yeah.
But they're all in a niche, and the record company focus on one type, and they grab to that because people react so quick on the medias.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But J. Cole is a millionaire.
Yeah, 100%.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
They all... Chance the Rapper also has this thing, you see.
But the difference is, too, with artists like a J. Cole or a Kendrick, his music's still going to be around in 40 years.
Yeah.
The rest of these guys who all sound the same, like, okay, you got J. Cole, you got Kendrick,
right?
Then you got the rest of these guys. They're all the fucking same. In 40 years' time, nobody's going to be checking for these guys. People are going to want to listen to the one guy that stood out and had the balls to be original with his music.
But once again, if you look at Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, with New Kids on the Block, right? His big brother, right? Danny, Walburn, and all those guys.
Yeah.
They still have cruise boat tours with Naughty by Nature.
Yeah.
5,000 women mostly. They are making money. At some point, they will. Coolio, before he passed away, he was big in Ukraine. He was big in Romania.
Yeah, I mean, Gangsta's Paradise still slaps,
Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One.
Yeah, but those are legendary, though.
But they will be legendary in their funny ways. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just feel like Quando Rondo's not going to be legendary in 20 years. That's just that's my opinion.
If he cashed 20 people, I mean, that could pay 2-3 crab dinner bucks. I don't know.
There you go.
We'll see what happens. I think it's about longevity, right?
Yeah.
What you do with the 20-year time span, and if you're actually putting out quality stuff, people are they're gonna put you up there with the greats at that point because your stuff is memorable.
Yeah.
It's the same way that you have your top 5 albums, or you have these albums that are timeless. You got Dr. Dre's The Chronic. You got
Illmatic, Get Rich or Die Trying.
There you go. Those ones.
Reasonable Doubt.
You can fall back on these albums anytime, and you're like, bro, this shit's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny? Somebody brought up Dr. Dre's The Compton, Compton album.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Can you even name one song?
No, I really can't. No.
And they were calling it a classic a few years ago. Right when it dropped, like, oh, this is gonna be a classic. And now the debate, like somebody brought it up, like, can you even name one track off that album? And I can't. I think the only one I can sort of remember is the one that he had with Akon. Mm-hmm. And they're on a boat, they're on a plane or something.
But I mean, the game has changed too, because there's so much content now. Like,
so much.
How do you even create a classic? Because really and truly, like, you're on the timeline for 3 days, and then you're gone.
Yeah.
And then it's gone. You're something else. You've been replaced by 6 million other things. So it's like, I don't even know if our attention span is the same as it used to be. It's not. I know it's not. It's not. We don't have the attention span for classics
You just
anymore.
gotta have. I think at that point, like you guys saying, you just gotta have a good team. You gotta have a marketing team. You gotta give your phone away to a girl or a guy that knows how to do TikTok posts for you. You don't even look at them. That's what Jay-Z does. Yeah. That's what a lot of them. They have like 6 cell phones. They don't care. Yeah. As long as you sign an NDA, you can't do this, you can't do that. Right. Like, you just give them the phone, let them ride. Okay, we're doing this. We're doing 3 posts or 6 posts a week, so 10 posts a week, and we're gonna run this for 3 weeks, and then the third week we're doing 10. You let somebody. So that's how, even though they look corny to us, they still got a little market. They still got a little niche in a way.
No, for sure.
You see,
for sure.
You got to be smart about it. Like, Vanilla Ice is a millionaire. Almost $1 billion.
I don't know if he's a millionaire now, though, is he?
He is, because he's into real estate. He has a TV show.
No, you're right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we're looking on, because now it's more business, because the guys get it. You can't live out of music. It doesn't, you don't own it, right? You don't own it. The record label own it.
Yeah.
So that's why they got diverse. That's why they had Fat Foreign Clothing. That's why they had Sean John Clothing. That's why they had Rockefeller clothing, and then they went about the liquor store, they went about the beer, they went about the rims, they went about the Paul Wall that was in Montreal this weekend, they went about the grill.
Jewelry, yep.
Paul Wall got so many stores of grills.
For sure.
So they're still legend because they keeping that public persona status in a way. Mm-hmm. That's why people respect Jay-Z differently than MC Hammer, even though MC Hammer made millions real quick compared to Jay-Z.
Jay-Z's the GOAT, though.
Yes. Yeah, there's a couple of people on top for me.
You have one guy that's hitting you with those crazy inspirational bars, and then you have one guy that's saying it's hammer time. Yeah. Taking up his pants, going.
I mean, it was a fire dance, though. Fire dance. That shit was crazy.
He had like 2,000 people on that stage.
Yeah, it was crazy.
The whole Oakland hood was crazy. There.
I mean, he brought the hammer pants, bro. Yeah. The you know what I'm saying? Come on.
You just got out of jail? Yeah, like 3 weeks ago, man. 3 days ago. Okay, you hire you. I'm like, what? You was a gangster.
No, I was about to say, people don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
MC Hammer, like,
funny story about
that motherfucker will run up on you. Go for it.
From guys that we thought were hood, like people like Busta Rhymes and Nori could tell you stuff about this guy. Like, what? This guy was ruthless.
Yeah, he was the real deal.
People thought it was Too Short that was funny, representing gangster, and the pimp thing from Oakland. But I think it was MC Hammer. Yeah, dude was crazy.
Yeah, he had a serious click with him, bro.
He was intense.
He was legit. He was an official dude.
Yeah,
it sucks what happened with the whole not managing your money correctly, and he lost everything basically.
But, he bounced back.
But
he bounced back while he was a pastor for a while.
Yeah.
And then after that, until now, he's really involved in Silicon Valley, and he's one of the first investors in Apple since 1997.
So he's got super money then.
Just does its thing. Lauryn Hill is into tech. Chameleonaire.
Oh yeah.
If you type Chameleonaire in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard
he was so smart, people didn't realize.
Yeah, Chameleonaire is like low-key
with his website, right? Chameleonaire.com, right? He would sell a CD and say that you get a free email that ends with chameleonaire.com.
Oh shit.
That's how he got his it's a database.
Yeah, and so he built up a mailing list at the same time.
And he did that in 2005.
Yeah. Yeah, he was ahead of the game for sure. He was.
Same thing with Mike Jones.
Yeah.
With Soulja Boy.
Yeah.
With the phone number. Mike Jones still got that phone number.
That's hilarious, bro.
The phone number was,
That's hilarious.
So, there's ways to don't be on the respirator and live,
Facts, though.
But if you think about only music, how many?
Yeah. I think you were co-hosting a TV show at one point, right?
Well, because that's what I understood. Once my son was born, I stopped that era. So I took that, and then I was hosting events because when I was doing rap shows, I was into Checkers. That was the name of the club, Checkers on Park Avenue. So a lot of those clubs, when I would go, or even community centers, there was sometimes the host didn't do the job, or we didn't have a host, and then there was a little gap. Nothing was going on, so I started hosting, and that's how I got involved to doing radio in Florida. So I said, okay, I'm more mature. I got more knowledge. I don't see myself rapping. I was 27, 28. I said, let me do that instead. So that's how I got into the hosting and doing events, because I had a show. So I was doing parties. And then when I came back here, there was a Haitian radio station. So that's how I got into the radio show. So I had a radio show Saturday from 2 to 4 instead of doing it at night, because I'm getting older.
Yeah.
My fans that were following me are getting older too.
Right.
So they're sleeping early too. Right?
Yeah,
so I kept on moving. And then after that, I went... I worked for Sequoia for 3 years in marketing and promotion, driving around, doing all type of promotion, hosting, and had my couple of DJ gigs that could help me out. My name was spread out there and here and there, so people know me. And then that's when I decided to do the morning radio show in 2010, 2011. Okay. So I said, you know what? I need to film this. Just like Breakfast Club, I swear. Pure coincidence. Yeah. As soon as I was uploading on YouTube, I see the request, right? The suggestion. I was like, they're doing that too in New York, so they inspired me. So, because I was
this
getting older.
This was an inspiration too for Breakfast Club, basically.
Oh, you see? So I was inspired because I was getting closer to 40. So I say, I want to keep this urban, and I know there's a lot of radio shows in the States and radio stations everywhere in the United States where I've been. So I was like, we don't have this here, So that's how I started to do the morning show. And then I wanted to stretch that. But then again, like you said, there was a resistance because they're so narrow-minded here, So that's how I got involved. And then as I was getting older, said, I need to do it like this. I need to do it like that. I can't do it 2 to 4. Can't do pop quiz. Let's do it in the morning, then in the traffic, and so on and so on. So that's how I got involved into radio. And then when I moved to Calgary, I lived 2 years in Calgary, 2013 to 2015. Pure coincidence. I was hosting shows, working in construction in the week. And then somebody went to interview me and said, oh, you have a nice little background. We want to interview you at a bilingual TV show on Shaw TV.
Oh, shit.
I said, okay, here's my number. A month later, they say, we don't want to interview you no more. I said, why? We want you to co-host.
Oh, shit.
I was like, oh. So it was volunteer. But once I got involved, I was the third co-host. Shaw TV saw something because the rating was going up. The diversity in Calgary is as much as here, just a smaller population.
Yeah.
So they saw when I was on, there were more Nigerian, there were more Ugandan and more Jamaican and Trinis that was watching the show. Yeah. So we started to get paid.
That's ill.
And they were volunteers for a year and a half.
So what was the basis of the show?
It was perfect. It was a French community that wanted to do a bilingual show.
There's a French community out there?
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh shit, I didn't know.
Yeah, big time. Downtown Calgary. Part of it, let's say the same part as Hochelaga Maisonneuve, which is kind of historical down there, was supported by priests from the Catholic community here to go down there.
Oh shit!
Yeah, there was one brother Rouleau, Frère Rouleau. It was called Rouleauville. Up to now, it was called Rouleauville, and they changed it to Heritage.
Oh shit!
So he helped to build Calgary in 1915, 1920.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they wanted to create the bridge between the two language. So they decided to do an interview in half an hour, 15 minutes in French, and we do the same thing, 15 minutes in English. So I got involved in that too, because the Haitian community, they speak better French than English.
Yeah, for sure.
So I kind of dabbled between them two, so the guests would feel at ease. So that's how we exposed. It was the first bilingual show in Canada.
That's crazy.
Yeah, in the same half hour.
Damn, that's big, bro.
Crazy.
Yeah, so
that's legendary, man.
I tried to reproduce it at MaTV when I came back, but MaTV, they tried to hustle the idea out of me.
Yeah.
From me. So they invited me to do all those workshops and, how to work a camera, how to do it. I said, listen, I did that at Shaw TV just 6 months ago. Why I'm learning this? I know the board. I know this. I know that. Like, let's just find another course. I'll do it. We'll do the same bilingual show. Okay, but you got to go through all of this first. I just told you I had the training. What's wrong? So they wanted to just say, okay, here's the leash. Here, I'll lose it. Yeah. Let's pull it on in. Yeah. So once I got that, I took all the 3 sessions. I said, you know what? I don't want that. And I didn't appreciate I like I like the trainers, but I didn't like the idea because they were swinging the idea here and left and right among the people in my group. I was like, what you guys, I look at them. So what are you guys doing? Why are you talking about the idea I told you about to everybody that came here for training so they can build their project? Right. So why you didn't just tell them, okay, Luigi, we're going to do it. Here's the fun, this and that. We'll try 6 months or so on. No. So I just left.
Yeah, you came there. You basically gave them a great idea, and then you start telling everybody else about it. Everybody else starts making their own plans about doing it.
And they never did it. They never done until now. I took the training in 2016 or 17. They never done nothing with the idea. So why you don't listen to somebody that's done it 4,000 miles west?
Yeah.
It's coming back with a fresh idea for this Québécois 101, whatever they want to call that bullshit. It makes no goddamn sense because everybody's trilingual here on this table.
Facts.
You speak French, English, and then Greek, and French, English, and something else.
French English, and Creole. A bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying?
You're a special story. You're a big milkshake, but it's a whole different story. And then he's puffing whatever there.
It's tremendous, by the way.
So you see, so they never done nothing with it. I said, I'm not doing this. I want to do this idea. Yeah, mais tu sais, il faut que ça soit plus français. Gotta be more French. Like, French fry. I'll say French fry every 3 minutes. Would you please get with the program, please?
real, though.
We're missing the boat here.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That's the fucking key phrase right there. We missed a lot of fucking boats. A lot of boats, bro.
All because of words, you know?
Oh, man. Anyways.
Super annoying.
I could go on and on, but thank you for the training and the workshop, but I don't like my TV for that. I'm saying that there.
There's something that we spoke about last time when I was at the shop. There was some TV channel or TV station that was supposed to get off the ground, and you were supposed to be involved with it, and it's sort of like in limbo. What's going on with that?
Well, once again, I have nothing against.
Politics.
No. Now, some people have the guts to fill those paperworks and have a good credit. Sometimes it's about the good credit or people around you. So they had the idea, but they can't develop it. Right? They have the idea, they have minimal fun. Then you have somebody like me that doesn't have that much fun, but I can find the fun.
Yeah.
Let me be that for your project. Sincerely, because I appreciate people when they have ideas like that. I can feel people. I can sense people. Or else I wouldn't be here, right? Cross town, right? So I appreciate people. So, how can I say that? I don't want to. It just died, and it's going to die. There's a lot of TV shows, TV station, and radio station license that we can have. But some people are just too stubborn here. They're in their ways.
Yeah.
So sadly enough, that guy his idea is gonna fade away because he doesn't get that you need to have different people doing different stuff. Let me do what I'm doing as well. I was a rapper and I understand the rapper and I went a little bit far and then I know how to hustle and get the sponsors. So when I was on the other side, I said I'm gonna be your manager. I'm gonna be the one that's gonna find you sponsors. But now you're in your feeling because I'm talking too much. Well, Puff Daddy talks a lot. Dr. Dre talks a lot.
Yeah.
Let me be the suit and tie motherfucker here for a second. You're the guy on stage.
Spokesperson. You gotta be the spokesperson.
But let me do it. A lot of people are in the feelings here. They have short fuse on that.
Fragile egos, bro.
Fragile egos. But once you get a team, you get a team, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen often. People are just always second guessing and thinking and maybe we should wait. Maybe I should wait for the perfect scenario.
Yeah.
Or maybe when I wake up. Or maybe after breakfast.
Yeah.
Oh, my girlfriend didn't come.
And that's the thing. Perfect never comes. It's like, you're waiting for something
broke up with
that's
my
never
girl.
gonna happen.
She wasn't even your girl. Who cares? Let's move on.
She belongs to the streets, bro.
Let's move on.
You know what I mean?
She'll come back in 3 weeks. Trust me.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But even if she doesn't, what are you gonna you're gonna let your life waste away?
Well, at least during those, if I give him hope for 3 weeks, even though she's not coming back, his momentum is there for the project.
There you go.
By the end of those 3 weeks, he doesn't even remember her name or her zodiac sign. So we're moving. Yeah. But you're hooked on that. She's not coming back, bro.
Yeah. Facts.
If I say that, it hurts you. If I tell you maybe in 3 weeks, well, she'll come back in 3 weeks. Let's just focus. You're still not going to do it because you're hooked.
Yeah.
So it's all about the being in the feelings. Like, no, let's do this now. I did so many stuff here. Like people look at me. How did you pull out $500 for this sponsorship for this show, for your show? I don't know. I just talk and say, I'm going to do it. Oh, wow. What else is to do? Yeah, but what if it doesn't work? Find out if it doesn't work.
Yeah, there's only one way to find out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So people are just thinking about like you were saying, perfect scenario. No. I went on stage at 15 years old. I forgot the whole second verse. And I won $50.
Yeah.
Can you please trust me here for a second? I'm 20 years older with more experience. Let me do this for you, please.
Yeah, facts.
No. Well, I don't know if $50. Well, that was 1988. They would stop focusing on what I won.
Yeah.
But I won.
Yeah.
I don't care what I won. It could have been $2. Shoelaces. I don't care.
That's because you know what? Everybody wants to be the captain of the ship. You know what I mean? And it's like you need to focus on the ship actually getting to where we need to go, as opposed to who's driving it, maybe. Right. And but yeah, it's hard. It's hard to do, especially in the hip hop scene. It's you're dealing with a lot of fragile egos, man. And you know, rappers, I say it on every episode now, rappers like to present themselves as like these alpha males at all times, but the reality is they got the most fragile egos, myself included at one point in my life, fragile egos of anybody that you're gonna fuck with. I mean, it is what it is. If you don't believe me, go do a track with your boy and make your verse slightly better than his, and see how he feels about you after that.
Exactly. But you look at there's different ciphers. People don't realize that. You know, I spent a lot of time. I spent a couple of times with Wyclef. I spent 2-3 days with Bobby Brown. I spent a couple of days with Sean Paul.
He's flexing right now, by the way.
So, when I met Bobby Brown, I come back to Wyclef after because he said something to me with Sean Paul similar. Mm-hmm. But when the first day I interviewed him, there was so many coincidences in what I was saying. He was intrigued about my vibration, and my flow, and his knowledge. You're going deep. Yeah. How do you know I was boxing at 19 years old? I said, yeah, that's what I do. And then, you know, I talk about Stevie Wonder, a quote that he told his brother told me, and he goes, how do you know I know Stevie Wonder? I said, I don't know you know Stevie Wonder. I just said a quote from, said, because he's my son Cashier's godfather.
Oh, wow.
So we spent 3 days because he's like, this guy's on the same level. You see? So people recognize their vibration. Yeah. The same thing with Sean Paul and his brother when I met them at Music Plus. Mm-hmm. I did my research. I called VP Record all the way in Jamaica with a calling card in 2004. I wanted to interview this guy. And when I met him, I talked to him. Yeah, when you represented the water polo team for Jamaica, it's like, hi. And he was looking at me like, hold up, how you know that? Well, because I appreciate you, but there's something about you as well. When I was a rapper, nobody knew I was living this. I had a kid and I was having drama here and trying to work there. I had 2 jobs with, you know, sleeping at 4 o'clock, working at McDonald's at 6 in the morning. And so I see why you're there. Mm-hmm. So people recognize people. And if you look at the native tongue from Tribe Called Quest to Leaders of the New School, they have that vibe. When you look at the whole, Bad Boy Camp. If you look at camp, people surround themselves with the same vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
So once you click, you got
like-minded people.
Yeah. So whatever frequency, whatever vibe you're in, then people recognize each other.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's a gem too, because you know, there's a lot of these quotes, but they're real quotes. It's you know, if you surround yourself with a bunch of fucking losers, you're going to be the 5th loser. If you surround yourself with a bunch of entrepreneurs, you're bound to be the 5th one. So it's really like, it is important who you surround yourself with. And honestly, like one mistake that I made in my life that I wish I would have figured this out sooner, because I surrounded myself with fucking idiots for way too long and like wondered why I wasn't progressing in life. You know, you get to a certain point where selfishly, as a man, especially with kids, Steve, you'll get there one day with a Cuban woman probably, but like when, you know, once you become a man and of a certain stature, you really have to start cutting out the cancers in your life, and like you said, surrounding yourself with people that are on the same, you say, vibrations as you, and then you do start to get a lot farther in life. It's true. It is. I'm
gonna tell you something. When I first heard hip hop at 10 years old, I bought the Message album. It's like a jungle sometime.
Yeah.
Child is born with no state of mind, blind
that's
to the ways
a
of
big
mankind.
Track. Yeah.
That when I heard that at 10 years old,
mind blown.
My friend that was 10 years old too didn't get it in 82, right? But I was living something to understand this, because I was going to New York a lot. I had a stepdad, you know, could call him sometime Mike Tyson. You see what I'm saying? So I was living stuff. So a child is born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. So I'm flashing about him, about this, about being in a foster home, about I have talent, I love music, and this vibe. You see, so you click on stuff when you have to click on it.
Yeah.
You see, so at 10 I started that, and then at 12 I wanted to dance. I did dance shows at the elementary school, and then started rapping, and then Dice B, without insulting him or dissing him, he told me, nah, it's not good enough. Maybe it wasn't. Then 2 years later, boxing, I forgot my words, but the confidence,
right?
I was at ease.
Confidence is key.
You see, so it builds whenever it builds. Some people's at 55.
Yeah,
you know, some people at 42. Some people's at 15. I met women 15 years old that tell me they're drummer, and I'm like, what? You been to this?
No.
At 20 years old, you been to this? This man, dad, and oh man. So you gotta be humble sometimes. Sometimes we don't care. It's like, hey, you're only spending the night. That's your state of mind saying that. For me, that child is born at 10. If you tell me those stories at 20, I have a different comprehension of a woman. You see what I'm saying? So even rapping, you know, it's not to say you hang with losers. Maybe your frequency was low to that point, and
Could have been.
click.
You definitely sound like my baby mother right now.
You evolved.
100%.
You evolved as a person. You got
Evolved.
Yeah, no, I did evolve because I was a piece of shit. You know,
You know, I couldn't. When I rapped my verses at that time, if I rap them now, my vision is so clear about them. They wasn't temporary. My verses, I could drop a verse now. You'd be surprised. Like, you were rapping that at 15? I was really, really deep because I was looking and searching, and this was my way of expressing myself. And yeah.
You had an outlet. You were lucky, man.
Huh?
You had an outlet, and you were lucky that you were able to express yourself through it.
Say it with your chest, Steve.
You know what I'm saying? I think I wanted to. What was it? Did you interview Harry
Belafonte.
Belafonte?
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I met Harry Belafonte in 2010, 11, while I was doing my morning radio show at the Black Film Festival here in downtown. And that's another thing, too, I did, too, with him. So he was at a conference, press conference, and everybody's asking, you know, Harry Belafonte, the singer, you know, the activist that became singer or whatever.
Yeah.
So I go, and I raise my hand, I go, so in 1982, when you decide to produce the hip hop movie Breakdance, and everybody was like, huh? So he's looking at me like this now. Okay, who's that young man? He's the only one that looks different anyways, because everybody isn't square. Looks square. I say, yeah, so what was in the back of your mind when you wrote that movie? So you say you wanted to bring the gap between dance, contemporary dance, jazz dance, and hip hop, and show the
evolution.
The coincidence of them too. They were similar. So that's why he did breaking. So I met Harry Belafonte, and then I had the records. I showed him all his records, the one at Carnegie Hall, and breaking and everything. And once he finished answering my question, it took him about a good 6 minutes of the conference. He took his time to explain, because for him, hip hop was really important.
Yeah, for sure.
And 82, to do what he did, he wanted to prove that this new generation got a voice now. Yeah. So
and it wasn't just a fad; it was here to stay.
Yeah, so we need to stop playing with this. We need to get involved with them. So he did the movie Breaking and Breaking 2, and Beat Street. Sorry,
Beat Street.
Beat Street.
Yeah, that's like a legendary hip hop. Yeah. That's what I thought you were talking about. Yeah,
Beat Street. Harry Belafonte produced that.
Let me ask you a personal question, because I feel like he walked in the room with a cavalcade of beautiful women. Am I tripping out or
who?
Belafonte. I feel like they just follow him around.
No, by himself. He was kind of
okay. All right. Friends, sorry, maybe that was my own little fantasy there.
No. But it's funny to say, we chit-chatted a little bit after, and he goes, "You from Haiti?" I said, "Yeah, my family's from Haiti. I've never been there yet. I'm supposed to go." Oh, I didn't go yet. So I said, "Yeah, I'm from Haiti." Said, "You know Camperin area?" I said, "Yeah, that's not too far from where my mom born. I got a house there since 1968. Ooh. So yeah, me and Mandela, we've been there.
Oh, wow.
Martin Luther King III.
Wow.
Been there, yeah. And I was like, what? Yeah, he has a house and live in Haiti.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And funny to say, my mom told me, and my grandmother before she passed away, that they were my grandfather was friend with Harry Belafonte in the 50s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because my grandfather was a businessman in Haiti. That's got crazy. Killed by François Duvalier, the president. Yeah. Shit. That's how we flee here. My granduncle was a judge. He came here with his daughter and my mom in 68, 70.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know that.
That's like, this is the most humble flex we've ever had on Hustle Podcast, bro. He's name dropping like a motherfucker. It's crazy.
You know what I need to know? Because you brought it up before and you said you had a funny... What's that cocaine story, bro?
Yeah, what's the cocaine story, bro?
Oh, you want to hear about the cocaine story? All right.
If only Talia was here right now.
I was in Florida. First time I'm saying it in recording. I said it in churches and everything.
No names.
No names. So it was in Florida. So I know a little bit of everybody. So this guy was real cool with me. His name is Louis. He passed away now in Haiti, but he lived in Flatwater, Florida. Rest in peace. He came that morning at my house on my birthday. I was opening my eyes in my bed at 9 o'clock. I was like, wow, it's my birthday and I'm in Florida. So I'm seeing jet skis, South
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Let me do my thing. So the voice came to me and said, don't tell no one it's your birthday. I said, what? I heard a voice. So get up. Don't pay no mind. He comes in. Lewis comes in around 10 o'clock. He said, oh, what are you doing today? Every time I try to tell him it's my birthday, it doesn't come out. Then at one point when he left, then I told him. He said, oh, it's your birthday? So we're going to Florida? I said, nah, I'm staying here, listen to some Sizzler, just my tea and my spiritual vibe. I don't want to do that. I don't know. So for some reason I said, no, I don't want to do it no more.
I feel like I know where this is going.
Yeah. So one thing leads to another. I'm in his car with my luggage. I said, nah. Phone rings. Thing leads to another. We're in the parking lot. Like, bro, you leave me on the side of the highway here. I will not move, but I'm not going where you're going. I said, I never done this in Montreal. And I know big time dudes in Montreal. So I'm not doing this. I said, no, he's a regular. Don't worry about it. I said, okay. One thing leads to another. To get rid of the situation, I'm counting money. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? This is not me. But I want to get rid of the scenario. I want to be by my jet ski.
Right.
It's my birthday. I'm not doing this. So second time I counted the money, I realized something just came out to me and said, this is a setup. So I gave him his money and pressed on his arm because he was the driver of his Benz and I was a passenger and this guy was in the back. Perfect scenario, right? For a movie, right? So as I'm pressing, I say, is missing money. I told him that in Creole. 3, 2, 1. He opens the door. This guy in the back opens the door, start running, jumping fence like we're in Boys in the Hood or something. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I pull out, look at them running, wondering why. As I turn around, green Hyundai, 4-door, tinted window. Always going to remember that car in my life. Pull out. 2 guys, ski mask. It's 10:30. It's about 36 degrees. Why you need a ski mask?
Welcome to Fort Myers, bro.
Right. So they raise up. They got 4 or 5, 4 of them. I'm like, what? Get on the motherfucking ground now. I'm like, what? So I go on the floor, search the car. As he's put his feet on my neck, something's telling me just relax. They're innocent and they're just young. I just say, relax. They ask me, what is shit? What is shit? I don't know what shit you're talking about. And sometimes something come out of my mouth and told them, you know how it is? It didn't get here yet. And I closed my mouth. I was like, what did I just say? Then they left. I had an African medallion chain. They took that. They had nothing else. And I stand up and the voice came back. Creole told me, I fucking told you, don't tell nobody it was your motherfucking birthday. In Creole.
Facts.
I was like, man.
How you say that in Creole? Our people want to know.
Mwen te fudzou, pa di pièce moun se te fait tout.
That's what he heard in his head.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was looking at the sky. I was like, all right. So I had a vengeance in me because I didn't appreciate that. Being stuck up like that. I had nothing to do with nothing. So as I'm walking back to my house, because my friend, remember, left.
Right.
So he's running wherever. I don't know what's going on with the other dude that's missing money anyways. So they found me, but I was pissed off by the time I walked. I walked a good 10 minutes and then they found me, him and his other friends. And as I got into the Jeep, they were laughing about it. Like that's an everyday thing to them. I was like, no, we're going to do something. I started transforming.
Yeah.
But when I saw them, I was like, if they're not stressed about it, why should I be stressed about it? So I let it go like that. 6 months later, I was doing my Sunday parties.
Yeah.
And I had a code that I have to give away 5 bottles of champagne. So that was my code. That was my marketing package. So you're a couple, I give you a bottle. You're a couple of girls, give you a bottle. A couple of boys kind of shifty-hifty, I give you a bottle. Socialize, whatever. Yeah. So that night, 6 months later, I gave the bottle to a guy, the last bottle.
He's got your chain on.
No.
Oh,
he's surprised. And he started talking to me. More he's talking to me, less I'm hearing the music and the noise in the club.
Hearing his voice.
Yeah, just his voice. He was the guy on the driver's side.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that was him. He told me, I'm sorry, I keep seeing you. You come and play at the complex, play basketball, and you wasn't supposed to be there. I said, bro, got it. I don't know. I said, I'm sorry. I said, yo, bro, just enjoy this bottle of champagne. Well, he said, I see you at the complex. I really appreciate you. You're a very simple guy. All right. And then as he leave, his friend comes and he's looking and he saw me and jumped like he saw a ghost. And that was a guy that had his foot on my neck.
Oh, shit.
So his friend told me he was okay. And he looked at me and he wanted to cry because they saw me for 6 months. They didn't know what to say to me. I was playing basketball with those dudes. I didn't even know that was them because they had ski masks.
Yeah.
So for 6 months, they were like, what the fuck? I was like, why he had to be there?
Gangsters with a conscience. Look at that shit, bro.
6 months playing b-ball with the guys that fucking robbed you.
And the next day of that party, every morning I would take my tea, listen to my reggae and so on. There was a neighbor, my mom's neighbor, 3 houses down. He would blast his sound system and his rims and his grill and vibrate the whole state. And that morning, drive by me, stop in front of me, in front of my house in my parking lot, roll down the window. He was my neighbor the whole time. I didn't even know.
That's wild.
And he looked at me with his grill. He looked like Trick Daddy kind of thing. He said, life fucked up, dog. How did he go? Life fucked up, neighbor. Have a nice fucking day. And that was it. That was my
crazy.
message. Yeah.
Damn,
I think
bro.
you're definitely lucky that things didn't go a different way that day when that foot was on the back of your neck. You're also a stand-up dude that you put out that positive energy. You know what I mean? You don't have that negative vibe about you. So you're here today, bro.
And it's not mine.
Yeah, and that's all in the past. You know what I mean? It's something that shaped you as a person.
Yeah.
And it's a great fucking story for the podcast.
Facts, though.
I got so many, man.
We're running out of time right now. So we're getting to that time that you got to pick up that gem, Luigi.
Okay.
Big ass diamond.
You already dropped like 30 of them today, I think.
Yeah, it's been a gem episode.
I need a receipt.
Yeah, facts.
You take one of those stacks over there, bro. That's the payment for all the gems.
What? Just like that? All right.
So drop a gem to the people. Some words of inspiration, some motivation, some wisdom.
Oh, here's one. Here's a nice one. It's kind of deep. You know, as I'm getting older, even my son told me that 15 years ago. You should be a pastor. I said, I don't know about the pastor stuff, but
I mean, you opened up with a prayer, so he might have been on to something. He might have had you there.
So here's one. Go on my YouTube channel, Luigi On The Go. That's for sure. Subscribe. I got a Afro Snow Club I'm creating, snowboard club.
Oh shit!
I have I train Afro Canadian, whatever background, to snowboard. Like tomorrow morning, I'm going with my son and a couple of friends.
Damn.
So I do that. So besides that, that was a promo plug.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't
That's
a
all right.
word.
That's all
Exactly
right.
what Luigi told me last time. He's taking away that stigma that black people don't like going doing
snowboard and ski. Yeah. So we had about this with Hike MTL and Black Winterfest. We had about I would say 75 people brand new to snowboarding and skiing. Yeah. Yeah. I'll send you guys the infos and everything.
Yeah, my girl loves to snowboard. I think she's out of her fucking mind.
She's welcome.
Yeah.
And so the gem, you live your past, your present, and your future every single day of your life simultaneously, every single time.
I feel you on that.
So if you have a flash of a bike that you had at 12 years old, what kind of bike you had? Oh, mountain bike?
It was a mountain bike for sure.
It was cool?
It was all right, yeah.
Yeah? Where did you go with it? You had fun with your friends?
All over the place.
All over the place, right?
Yeah.
You started smiling, right? So that was something in the past that give you a feeling in your present.
Yeah.
So you can have different stories of your past. If you place them right in the right folder, it's a souvenir and a lesson of life.
Yeah.
So once you have that, you can have a better present so you can see clearer for your future. So you live your past and your present, your future constantly every single.
That's big. That's big. You should have been a pastor, bro.
There's still time. There's still time.
Man, a lot of people tell me that. I don't know.
The Church of Soundproof. Easy there.
Yeah.
Plug a little more. Let the people know where they can find you.
Okay. Well, I have my YouTube channel. Almost 1,000. Not yet.
Let's go.
Hey, I'll be quiet. You know, I gotta hustle.
Nah, bro. Everybody's got to start somewhere.
Exactly. Luigi On The Go on Instagram. Luigi On The Go on YouTube and on TikTok. But I'm trying to build TikTok. Maybe my son's girlfriend's gonna help me with that.
There you
TikTok because I don't have a clue what's going on TikTok.
Same here.
Right. And I'll also do conferences. So on how I overcame discrimination, and I present Afro-Canadians from all generations, past and present in Canada, as well as I discovered in the west of Canada, Montreal, Toronto, Gatineau, wherever.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. So in my printing business and DJ. So that's combined as I was a DJ and an MC. I had somebody who was doing T-shirts. And Anushka, she passed away, rest in peace. So she said, you refer me too many clients. Maybe you should start getting into the T-shirt.
Yeah.
So I got into the T-shirt thing, which I'm doing now. That's how I got, my hat and everything. And I do it for a lot of people, for artists, festival, restaurant, construction companies.
That's what's up.
So I got a couple of hustle under my...
Like on the Hustle Podcast.
Yeah. So one thing is like a domino effect, I started rapping and then doing community service, and then from there I started doing T-shirt while I was doing that, and then she came along and then she told me start printing, and then I started printing. I printed for somebody that had an event. I became the DJ, and it's just, you gotta follow through. I'm not rich, but I'm happy.
There you go.
I don't look 50.
No, you don't. No, you don't. I was telling him off air, like, if I look like that at 50, I'm happy to the motherfucker, boy.
My son is starting to look older than me.
Oh shit, he's calling you out, bro. He's calling you out right now.
You mean your brother over there, bro?
Yeah,
What's going on?
10 years ago, I think I met him at a basketball court, and I just got there. He was with his friend already.
You dunked on him?
No, I didn't dunk. I didn't dunk since last time I dunked is I was 24, 25, yeah. So as I go on the court, I don't tell nobody I'm his dad. I just play around, get on that team or passing it around. And like, oh, he's good. And he goes, yeah, that's my dad. He's like, what? I was running that court 10 years ago, about 40. I still play basketball every Saturday morning.
There you go.
From 7 to 9.
You gotta stay young, bro.
Stay active. Keep yourself young at heart,
Man, I gotta hustle that fat. That's what I gotta do.
Trust me, we on the same page.
Oh Lord, I gotta lose it.
All right, guys. So that wraps it for today. Thank you for watching another episode of the Hustle Podcast. Really enjoyed this one.
Yep.
A lot of gems dropped, a lot of stories that were told. Keep posted for the next one. We out.
Peace.
Welcome everybody. Y'all ready for this? The Hustle. My name is Steve Armopoulos, and these are my co-hosts.
I'm Talia. And I'm Tech Luciano. You may have heard me on radio. You may have never heard of me at all, but that's okay.
Y'all gon' learn today. Your whole life was a struggle, had to make it out the jungle. This is a show for you. Welcome to the hustle. Under pressure, never break a fold. Keep chasing your goals until you blow. Now welcome to the hustle.
Get well introduced to all three of us.
Y'all ready for this? You are now tuning in